Bob, the baseball time traveler. Thanks very much for joining me today as I'm going to do a VR for Dan Wilson over at Cases Loaded. Dan's asked us to pick a player, a member of the 600 or 700 home run club, and today I have picked none other than the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Willie Mays was my childhood hero. I watched him play many games on TV. I grew up in the Los Angeles area, but I was a San Francisco Giants fan along with my grandfather. My dad was a Dodgers fan, so we had an interesting family dynamic. But long story short, I watched Willie play on TV quite a few times whenever they would be playing the Dodgers up in Candlestick. And I've chosen him because one, he was the actually the second person to hit 600 home runs behind only Babe Ruth, and he was the first National Leaguer. And when he retired, he was the highest National League home run leader at that time with 660. And whether anybody knows this or not, his very first home run was off a future Hall of Famer at the time. This was in 1951, his rookie year. He hit it off none other than 363 game winner Warren Spahn. So without further delay, I want to show you the cards. But before I start that, I just want to congratulate Dan on his channel. I've really enjoyed watching. He's got some great content. He's fun, and you can tell he loves the hobby. He loves making videos, and it's really, really good stuff. So Dan, if I in any way with this VR can help you grab a few extra subscribers to help you blow through 1,500, I've done my job. So let's have fun with this. We'll take a look at some cards. Okay, as I mentioned, Willie's first home run was in 1951. He reached the 100 mark in August of 1955. And this was his year that he hit 51 home runs. I don't have a 55 base card. I'm still working on the base cards for the early 50s. And as most of you know, those are a little bit expensive. But I'm starting off modestly with the 1955 Topps highlight of the year. And this was a 2015 card. Okay, the next card I have is 1957 Topps. And I'll go through these quickly. I'll stop on a few just to talk a little bit about when he hits his next milestone. So this is his 1958 All-Star card. And to commemorate his 200th home run, which occurred on May 23rd, 1958, he hit it against Braves pitcher Warren Spahn. And after I saw that, I did a little research. Willie had a whole bunch of home runs off Warren Spahn during his career. I didn't count up the exact number, but it had to be at least 15 home runs that he hit off Spahny alone. Contrasting that with Sandy Koufax, what I found, and this is unofficial, I may be wrong, but it looked like he only hit 2 home runs off Sandy Koufax during his career. Okay, the next card is one of my favorites. I'm a big Richie Ashburn fan and Willie Mays fan, of course. And these are two great center fielders playing in the 1950s. Who could forget this play? This is a 1959 Baseball Thrills card, the famous catch, which I did a video on a few days ago. (1959) All-Star card. (1958) base card. I'm sorry, 59 base card. (1960) There we go. 1961 Most Valuable Player, commemorating his 1954 MVP season. And this is the same year, on July 4th, he hit his 300th home run against Cubs pitcher Jack Curtis. Here's the 62 home run leaders card, which would commemorate Willie's 1961 year. And here's a throw-in card. Two pretty good players in their day. Here's Willie's 62 base card. And his 62 All-Star card. Sorry for the delay there. In 1963, Willie reached the 400 home run level. On August 21st, hit it against really good pitcher Curt Simmons of the St. Louis Cardinals. Curt Simmons was a pitcher from the Philadelphia Phillies Whiz Kids back in 1950. He was no slouch. And another 63 card that I have is two of my favorites, Stan the Man and Willie. And I found this photograph that would have been taken at around the same time as the card, and it's just my humble opinion, but I think that's a much better looking picture than the card. But that's just me. All right, now we'll go to my Grail card. It's the card I just sought after as a kid. 64 Topps. I'm so glad I was able to acquire one. There's plenty out there certainly, but it's just a really special card for me. Here's the 65 base card. And in 1965, September 13th, 4 days after Sandy Koufax threw his perfect game, Willie decided to hit his 500th home run. And that was against Astros pitcher Don Notabart. And Don Notabart, not a well-known name, but he was the first Astros pitcher to throw a no-hitter. Just thought I'd throw that little bit of trivia in. Here's one of my favorite cards of Willie, the 1966 Topps. I know a lot of people don't show a lot of affection for this particular design, but I just thought it was a great card of Willie. Great smile, holding the ball, great blue background with the green and yellow. Just a good-looking card in my view. And then talk about a nice smile. Check this out. 1967 Willie. And the 1968, which is essentially the same picture as the 65. Never one of my favorites, but still glad to have these cards. Here's a little bonus card. 1968. A few good players there. I think Mickey, if I recall correctly, finished with 536. Harmon Killebrew had 573. I'm doing this off the top of my head. And Willie, of course, had 660. I do not have a 69 Willie card. I'm still waiting to get one of those sooner or later. And in 1969, on one of my sister's birthday, September 22nd, 1969, Willie hit his 600th home run off Padres pitcher Mike Corkins. Here's his 1970 base card. I do not have a 71 card, but here's his 72 base card. Here's Willie's 73 base card. And Willie hit his last home run, number 660, on August 17th, 1973. August 17th, that's my wedding anniversary, so that's pretty cool. And he hit that against Reds pitcher Don Gullett, who was a good pitcher with their big red machine as they won a couple of World Series a couple of years later. All right, and here's last card of Willie, showing him in his playing days. This was the 1974 Topps. He had retired in 1973 at the end of this World Series. But here he is depicted playing for the Mets against the Oakland A's. And the final card, we're going to jump into the 21st century. This is a card I recently acquired. I just thought it was a really beautiful card. It's a 2020 card, Allen and Ginter, Willie Mays. Okay, Dan, Hope that was a lot of fun for you to watch, and everybody, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Appreciate it. I'll look forward to talking with you soon. Take care, everyone.